I feel that MLS tries to take ownership of the soccer history that isn't theirs.
In our communities that are refugees, we have people in our communities that are undocumented or just immigrants.
The sport in New York has never had this. Even when the Cosmos in the 70s were immensely popular, there wasn't a local rivalry that people talked about.
We can barely watch the team on TV. You have to have like some obscure channel to watch.
All they care about is the money. That's it.
O único time que já teve Pelé, Beckenbauer e o Capita jogando juntos fechou as portas por muitos anos. Agora, de volta, o Cosmos é feito de sinalizador, torcida organizada e até o ódio ao futebol moderno. Eu vim para Nova York entender como um dos clubes mais charmosos do mundo resiste de pé e se recusa a pagar milhões de dólares para participar da principal liga dos Estados Unidos.
The old Cosmos were like incredible. You know, the original Galacticos, they were signing players, Pelé, Carlos Alberto, Giorgio Canalia, Beckenbauer. Like this team left a legacy that allowed for this new rebooted team to come back as they are, to start basically from scratch, but still have substance and something worthwhile to come out in sport because of the old Cosmos.
I feel like the history behind the Cosmos, the guys that play here, Pelé mostly are the Brazilians, and I feel like he's one of the greatest to ever play the game. And the New York Cosmos are always going to have that connection with Brazil no matter what. And he's obviously one of the greatest, as I said, and for us to have that connection, the New York Cosmos, it helps us globally too.
O antigo Cosmos fechou as portas na década de 80 e acabou voltando só em 2013. Nesse retorno, o clube se viu numa espécie de limbo, que são as divisões independentes entre si do futebol nos Estados Unidos. Hoje, o Cosmos figura entre os clubes da NASL, que é como uma segunda divisão deles. A primeira seria a MLS, ou a Major League Soccer. A questão é que lá eles não têm acesso de uma divisão para outra e nem rebaixamento. Trocando uma ideia com o presidente do Cosmos, expliquei que pra gente aqui do Brasil, isso tudo é bem confuso.
I think it's confusing for us as Americans too, because it's not quite what the American sports are modeled after, and it's not quite what global football is either. There is no promotion relegation. There are really four principal leagues: MLS, NASL, USL, and NPSL. You know, the Cosmos already proved that soccer in the United States could be huge, could have 70,000 people a game, could attract the biggest stars in the world. So what model is the best model to get back to that?
It's why the sport almost can't grow, in a sense. It's this major league mentality that we've followed in the footsteps of Major League Baseball, we've followed in the footsteps of NBA, NFL, that to the American public, only Major League matters. The development of the sport, they could say the development of the sport matters, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is the money. I feel that MLS tries to take ownership of the soccer history that isn't theirs. We're against the big money, big single entity, you know, 20 pages of transfer rules, have to have seating capacity like this. They're the embodiment of what we didn't want to be.
Promotion and relegation is such a hot button issue in this country. Like there's like an entire culture of people calling for this type of reform in our federation, in our soccer culture. I do think a club like the Cosmos that have invested in their club, invested in their community, have built a strong team, and have earned their place and earned the right to compete at a higher level than they are, because we've won the league, we've signed the great players, we've done everything right. But there's a ceiling. Like, we can't go any higher because there's no pro-rel.
The main reason economically, at least from my perspective, is that pro-rel cannot be implemented because these owners of these clubs say, okay, if I agree to pro-rel and I drop out, where does my money go? Everything I invested in this league, it's gone, and I got to try and work back. It's a shame. No one cares. They don't care about the history. They don't care. All they care about is the money. That's it.
The only way to get promoted is to spend I think it's now $200 million to get into MLS, and that's not how it's supposed to work.
It's not about the money, it's about the passion, right?
Yeah.
It's not only about the money.
For sure, yeah. It's about having pride in your club and wanting it to succeed, and when it's successful, it should be rewarded with a way up into a higher competition.
Yeah.
A cidade que está voltando a respirar futebol agora fala até sobre derby nas ruas. O lado azul da cidade recebe mais holofotes, mais investimento e vem irritando os fãs do Cosmos.
The sport is in New York has never had this. Even when the Cosmos in the 70s were immensely popular, there wasn't a local rivalry that people talked about. But we've seen, as the sport has grown over the last 10 years especially, that those rivalries are really what drives the sport. So whether it's Portland and Seattle, or now the 3 New York teams, that's getting headlines. It's getting headlines in major papers. It's, the games are being covered on SportsCenter, on ESPN. So I think it's great for everybody involved.
I think it's good for everyone. I think it's good anywhere where you have a local rivalry. It gives the fans something to be excited about. Gives the players something to be excited about. It's a different nature of a game. It brings discussion, it brings attention, and I think it's great for everyone, especially us as well here.
So Patrick, New York City Football Club, what does it mean to you?
It means nothing to me. I just absolutely have no good feelings about that club in any aspect. I hate them, absolutely hate them. New York City fans wanted a team for New York City. So years and years of groundwork was laid by the Borough Boys supporters, and because of a dispute between our ownership and MLS that involved everything but the supporters and the people that this team mattered to, the MLS went another way, basically betraying the work of the Cosmos supporters, betraying the Cosmos legacy that belongs in New York City.
They're the embodiment of why the NASL can't work. They're the big money interests, they're the Saudi oil money, they're the major league that my club didn't want to be in. They're everything that I want to hate.
Yeah, they're the big club in the city right now. But for me, it's just empty. It's something that people consume. It's Manchester City's little side project. It's not a good representation of New York City, and it just ignores the footballing culture that has been laid out here since 1971.
Conversando com esses caras, fica claro que o New York City FC representa o oposto de tudo que eles ainda acreditam no futebol. Isso inclui até os ideais sociais e políticos defendidos pelos 5 Points, como são chamados os torcedores organizados do Cosmos.
The 5 Points is probably the most passionate group of guys I know, all across any profession or anything like that. It's the Cross Island Crew, which is the Long Island-based supporters. It's La Banda del Cosmos, and the Borough Boys, which are obviously it's self-explanatory, the 5 boroughs group. They come out every match, rain, shine, snow, win, loss, draw, they're always there.
It's a very multicultural, it's a very modern, aggressive group of people. We do often try to make sure that we're making a stand for the things that matter. We have people in our communities that are refugees. We have people in our communities that are undocumented or just immigrants that you look in the media today and you see Donald Trumps of the world telling these people to leave, telling these people that they're not welcome. So here in the 5 Points, we want to make sure that message that our message is that you are welcome.
New York City or New York is a global city, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of people from different countries.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. To have a banner that says "Refugees Welcome" or "Migrant Justice" or whatever it might be is, in this city, it's not political. It's our lives.
Dizem que Pelé só tem um, só teve um, nunca mais vai ter. Talvez o Cosmos da década de 80 também nunca vai existir de novo. Mas o Cosmos de hoje mostra pra gente que pode fazer muito mais pelo futebol do que aquele Cosmos de antigamente fez.
We don't know what it's going to look like in 5 years or 10 years. The evolution of the sport in this country is happening almost daily. A lot of changes are happening. So as things continue to unfold, who knows what will happen.
This club does mean a lot to a lot of people. Like I said, to get to Cosmos, you have to get through, not just in the soccer scene. You have to get through all the other sports that people love in this country and in New York City. We can barely watch the team on TV. You have to have like some obscure channel to watch. And then if you're a soccer fan, you have to get through Red Bull and NYCFC. You have to realize, you have to see the bullshit that is those two teams to get to Cosmos. And if you're at that point, that means you're devoted, you're passionate, like you love what the club represents and not just, I like soccer, I like watching big stars at a baseball stadium.
I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And it was a really tough summer. I was away from my club, I was away from my friends, all this stuff. And all I had during recovery was Cosmos. That's all I had. For guys like me, it's more than a sport. It's a way of life. That's how it cures your ills. It makes you feel better than you already are.
The special thing about the Cosmos is we exist in spite of MLS. We didn't need MLS to be a club. There is just that passion in this club from the people that love it, and it means more than what MLS can offer. It means more than $100 million expansion fee. It's our club, and it means the world to us.